We'll just talk 15. Ready? Perfect. Thanks, James. Call the meeting to order of the Newtown Township Finance Committee, August 20th, 2025. It is 8:15 a.m. And we'll do a roll call. Ed Naples present. Rich Johnson. Here. Lisa Pacell.
Here.
Perfect. Yeah, I know Larry Fisher is out and Scott Trotter is not here. We need to stand and do a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice. Next order of business is considering approval of the agenda for this meeting. I make a motion to approve this agenda. I need a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Agenda is approved. Public comment for agenda items only. I see no public comment in the room. Minutes. We need to consider approving the minutes from the July 16th, 2025 meeting. I make a motion that we approve those minutes. Need a second?
Second.
Great. Motion made by Ed Naples, approved by Rich Johnson. Any discussion items to correct on those minutes? I hear none. Motion to approve the minutes from the July 16th meeting approved unanimously. Reports, update from the township staff.
Can you hear me now? Just a brief overview of activity through the 6 months ended June 30, 2025. Just a few highlights. Through June 30, we've collected 94% of the budgeted township real estate taxes revenue for the year. In addition, the local service revenue is running slightly above it, 55% over for the year. The budget level interest is also interest revenue. We had to at the budget approval process, we had to increase that to help us meet a balanced budget, and we're actually running at a pace after 6 months. We're at 65% of the budgeted amount for the year, so things are working out pretty well there. We've also have some additional reimbursements that we've already received and anticipate to receive at almost over $900,000 we will receive. We have received reimbursements from the Marple Newtown School District for our SRO officers, our school resource officer, and our crossing guard reimbursements. We've already received those. We've also received our annual reimbursement from municipal authority for both public works and administrative fees. Things like reimbursing for all the work we do for the municipal authority. That was to the tune of $260,000 a year.
Is that, oh, you said a year.
A year, yeah.
And that was,
What is paid like?
and that was actually for 2024.
That was 24. We're always running.
So they always pay us
Okay, so they're on a lag.
they're always alive.
Correct, on a lag. So we can have it this year, obviously going forward. Now we have a full-time director of operations that number, was budgeted to go up for 2025, and it will. So we'll grab that until early 2026.
Eventually that'll go back down
Right,
because my services will go away.
Right.
So the whole idea is to get this new person in who will eventually be their operations
sure.
manager, director person, and do everything that they need. And I will do much less
Right.
with them.
so we'll have a
So
little,
what do you have, like an hourly rate, Steve, that you set up with them?
It's basically a percentage of the amount of time of my
Oh, okay.
year that I spend
Got it.
doing that versus township stuff.
and similarly with the, public works activities too, because of, that side of it as well, given all the pump stations and all this related functions that
And
we
then,
do.
of course, our finance services as well, we
Right.
provide.
That's interesting that the municipal authority doesn't have its own public works.
Well, it would be, so we third
I
party.
apologize, that may be out of bounds.
It's okay. It's actually a good question from the finance committee to understand this. So we have a third party that services all of our pump stations on a daily basis. So that third party is doing the day-to-day kind of operations.
Okay.
Our public works team comes in when there's a 811 call to come in to go do, locate where a
A leak.
sewer line is,
Yeah.
so that somebody doesn't hit it, that, you know, when you dig
Oh,
right,
yeah,
those
do the
kind of things.
utility. Yeah,
So
utilities.
they're out marking township sewer line, wastewater, township stormwater lines. They mark the wastewater lines at the same time.
Got it.
There's occasionally, if there's an overflow, our team gets there first, contains the overflow before we get a third party in to do the cleanup.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing that our public works team does.
Mhm.
And some of that in the past was also kind of managing the team that was out there in regards to making sure that the group that's out doing the daily pump station stuff is doing their job. That's slowly moving over to the operations director. And she's taking on all of that and getting a good understanding of that. And she's way more forward in understanding than what I thought she would be at this point.
Civil engineer?
No,
No,
no. But she's just a manager basically who's coming in and managing this.
That's great.
And she's doing a really great job.
Takes
She's,
the pressure off you.
well, it takes the pressure off George and I.
Yeah.
And so that's the benefit. Because George and I both spent a lot of time on the, you know, the day-to-day kind of things, and she's doing most of that now. You know, I think by the end of the year, she'll be probably 90% of all work that gets done from that side of it here.
That would be fabulous.
Yes.
Great.
yeah, she's very, ask a lot of questions, wants to do everything the right way, and she's pretty bright, yeah.
Perfect. Sorry, Tom, I cut you off.
No. I'm one of her biggest cheerleaders because she's cracks me up. She's the female version of me. I feel like sexy. Anyway, bottom line is, in summary, we're through 6 months of accrual basis, we're running about 70 to 75% of revenue for the year.
So in terms of prior year, current year, we're pretty much on target.
We are.
Question.
We're ahead of it a little bit.
The Steve, way back, I guess back with Rich, we used to get kind of like a summary report monthly that showed highlight revenue expenses. Are we going to be able to migrate back to something like that?
We will probably within the next 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I realize it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve for Tom.
Well, and it's also, we have a little bit of a software glitch that we're
Oh,
working
okay.
through in addition to getting certain things.
Those IT people.
So it's, not this one though.
Not this one, no, not at all.
No, it's,
No.
the software itself has had a few issues and we're trying to work through that to get back to the type of reporting that we did before.
Right. Maybe now with us talking financials, I sent you the email on the passing of Claude DeBottom. I'm guessing that is now I'm anticipating that this will be in flux unless the ownership was in trusts and all of that.
Oh, I think all of it was probably in, like, uh, LLCs and things like that were separate and apart from him. That,
Uh-huh.
like, I don't think everything was in his name. I think most things were in a company name.
Yeah,
I mean, most of the land is definitely in a different name than his name.
got it. Just for background for Rich and Lisa, probably the largest individual, private, landowner of the township passed away.
Yeah.
So.
At least the largest individual, largest landowner that is yet to be developed, that's for sure. But his kids have been working on it for probably the last
Yeah,
two
so
and a
this is-
half
right.
years.
So
and
whatever
he's
their
not-
plan is, they're.
I can't imagine that it's not set up to keep moving forward.
And there's been no recent activity from that side of the house in terms of any of their undeveloped property?
Oh, no, there's been a lot of activity.
Yes.
A lot of activity. So the Gradyville Road property, they've come in with a plan for a 12-lot subdivision. They've actually divided it into two big lots, and the smaller the two big lots, they have a 12-lot subdivision coming in.
So they're doing single-family residentials?
That's single-family residentials in that location, very similar. They want to do a very similar product to what they did in Marple.
Yeah, I saw that
Behind the
down
Presbyterian Church.
at the bottom of Media Line Road.
Yeah, at the bottom of Media Line Road, they want to do a very similar project on this side. They have one active under construction project right now on the Alice Grim. It's the acreage down by where the Veterans Memorial is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's the logistics center going in right now. Right next to that, there's a set of plans to put in a pickleball, I don't know, padel, whatever the different
Senior
names are.
citizen.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I tell you, a lot of young people are playing it
Playing
now
pickleball.
too, so
Interesting.
it's very
My son plays pickleball. Yeah.
it's very active.
30.
And then they also have the Veterans Hall that's due to be built, and they have approval. I don't know if they're going to move forward with it, but they have approval for a hotel there. So
Really?
oh yeah, that was actually approved prior to COVID.
They're just sitting on it.
They're just sitting on. So all of that's ready to kind of go. The only thing that doesn't have approval right this minute completely is the Padel pickleball court. And that's, I think, gone to planning and is ready to go. Maybe it has to go back to planning, but it's ready to go to the board pretty close now. So I think we're going to start seeing more of that activity there. So.
Great.
Yeah, we have a lot of escrow related to that. We have a lot of escrow deposits in-house, both municipal authority and township. Yes, projects all around.
Any questions, Rich or Lisa, further? Good. Old business. I'll let Lisa, if you're on, Lisa, I'll let you jump in terms of the great piece you put together for us. If you could chat about that for a minute.
Lisa, your mic's not on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm on my cell and trying to figure out the buttons, and there's background noise, so don't mind that either. So I don't have it in front of me, but I did have a chance to go through and summarize the last, I guess, the years covered, I think it goes 22 to 20 or 2020 to 23, if I'm correct. And I wanted to fill in some numbers, but mostly put qualitative information in about, high level information about where our sources of funds are and where the uses of funds are over those last couple of years. Do you have a copy of it? Oh, is that in front of us? Hold on, sorry, because
Yeah, I have it here.
seeing it on the screen. Okay.
It's on the screen.
Right, so you can see it's just, primarily tax revenue, as our primary use. And I touched on the federal grants, at least the major ones. I'm sure there's others that we have also got, received, but I kind of pulled out the ARPA funds and because they were significant and showed how they were being used for the road program. And then on our expense side, of course, salaries being our number one expense, and then showing sort of the departments that the funds are used by in a global sense, public safety being the largest department, and then public works and administrative. So I did want to put some quantitative figures around this too. I think if we can layer that in, it would add to, if we were to put this out as an article, it would give residents good information so they could see in general where the money comes from and where the money goes in our township, and maybe even put some forecasting in, where we predicted to go into the future. But, I guess it also comes back around to the audit, because I know the audit is still in progress. So I don't know if we want to wait for those numbers to publish the quantitative piece to this.
Lisa, this is a great job. For folks that like narrative, they're gonna love this.
Thank you.
Yeah, the one thing that I would just state is that we did not use ARPA funds for road maintenance.
Yeah, this is what my next
We
point was.
only used it for stormwater.
Right.
The only time it was used, like if it was considered road maintenance, if we tore up the road to put in stormwater, we fixed the road. But it was really a
Stormwater
project. We didn't go and pave sections of the road. And there's two reasons why I bring that up. One is road maintenance was not one of the allowed capital expenses for ARPA money. If you just went and did that as a single thing, you had to be able to show that you had lost funds in order to be able to do that. And we couldn't show that we lost funds in order to be able to do that. So we had dedicated it entirely to stormwater projects. And so we did culvert repairs. We did we did a couple extensions of stormwater projects. So there was a big one in the Upper St. Albans area that we actually came in and increased pipe sizes and added additional capacity in Upper St. Albans. We have done a similar project. It wasn't really adding capacity, but it was diverting stormwater over. It's the area that used to be Earl's
Lane.
It's Earl's Lane, but the dam.
Yeah.
And the lake. We've actually diverted some stormwater over to that area from behind some of the housing that was constantly receiving flooding and things like that. So we've done some pretty large projects that have changed stormwater pretty significantly, and that's where those dollars have gone.
Thank you for clarifying that. And I think that's exactly what we would want to put around the this, baseline context, is adding the detail to say how many projects stormwater projects were done, how many people were impacted. If we could weave that in, it would help to show why we picked those things to do. And thank you for correcting me, because sometimes I do confuse the road and the stormwater. So I appreciate you highlighting that difference.
Yeah, I just, only because I know how, when we go to report those funds, I just want it to be very clear that nobody comes back and says, oh, you used those funds improperly.
And that's how we applied to the federal requirement.
Right. So what, as I read this, I was thinking a couple of things. Number one, I think I would need to lean on Tom and Steve to confirm where Lisa has presented percentages, and I realize she's using approximations and those types of things, averaging anything percentage wise or any other thing that is technically inaccurate, like what you just pointed out, not right now with the roads.
Well, we can do two things. We'll sit down and we'll look at it in that way, but we'll also add some of the detail that
That's what I was gonna get to.
yeah.
Tom and I had a chance to cross paths, unfortunately for Tom. And
Not unfortunately.
what I was thinking about, Lisa, I know this is in the back of your mind as well, is you've heard me say this 1,000 times. You got 20 seconds. Some people love to read this stuff. Other people, just give them the numbers, 20 seconds, and that's it. That's your attention span. So I was thinking about, I profiled it with Tom, thinking about a real easy snapshot on the revenue side and do each piece. Do revenue as one, do expense as a follow-up, and move through the various points that are key points. So in terms of revenue, what I carved out, and Lisa, I apologize for if I'm jumping into your space.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I was thinking really simple. We have recurring revenue, property tax, principally the property tax from 20 through 2024, if we need to asterisk 2024 being unaudited. And then non-recurring is things like the permits, transfer taxes. And then the other, there'll be other in recurring, there'll be other, and I don't really care about other, because I think the big three, maybe the LST, I'm kind of up in the air on that, is gonna highlight 80–90% of the revenue. And that's what, and everything else is gonna be a hodgepodge, and who cares? It's not gonna drive the bus. But most importantly, what we're trying to get here by using the word trend is directionally, township folks will see the pattern as it relates to property tax. We'll also see the pattern related to permits and transfer taxes, most importantly. So that way they'll get a sense, if somebody wants the 20 seconds, let me just look at the numbers, and then they can read this if they want to read this, and there'll be others that'll just dig into this and have a field day with it, and ask all sorts of questions. So that was kind of my thought. I sketched something out with Tom, but I'm not wedded to it. But I was viewing it as kind of like an attachment to this, like see attached.
I would see, like the written part kind of maybe being the article, so to speak.
Mhm.
And then, you just have like an illustration being your data, like you wanted to show
Right.
it. And then we might have a few charts that would help. I think people view charts better than they view numbers most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, color chart, perfect. I'm
I'm
not wet. Again, I know some folks, when they see text, just go, bah.
yeah, no,
And
I
then
think
they
it's,
come in and they say, well, what about, and like, oh, we gave you that. So if you give them numbers, then they'll be happy, or charts even better,
Yeah.
color charts.
Yeah. I think a little bit of both. I think if you do the written like this, I
Oh,
think
this is
this is
perfect.
important
Yeah.
for folks who don't, some people look at numbers and it doesn't mean anything to them. They just see the numbers. You know, and there are some people who look at the numbers and it
That's
speaks.
what I'm getting at.
It's, some of us numbers folks, I don't want to see the text, I want to see the numbers. You know, I love to pour over the detail and make my own analysis, but then you have others who like, they just want to have the analysis done for them, but they like to see the overall piece of it as well.
So in order to move this along, I'll throw this out. Lisa, do you think over the next couple of weeks, you'd be able to regroup with Tom and the two of you could flesh out and the quote numeric or graphic attachment to this?
Yes,
The second question I have is, and I can't speak for Scott, if Rich has any commentary or input on this as well, to feed that to Lisa so that we could come back with something that we could actually consider and vote on at the next meeting,
Mhm.
so that we could release that. Realize it would be after the two strategic meetings that are coming up, but I think it would still be timely in the newsletter. So I'm sure there'll be highlights in the newsletter about the strategic meeting.
Yeah.
So this may be timely to get input there, rather than having it at the strategic meeting.
Yeah.
Is that doable, Lisa?
yep. So I'm gonna reach out to Tom and we'll make an appointment to work on a version that could be approved at the next meeting with
Right.
more data, maybe some charts. I love the idea of charts. I can already think of a few that I think will be great. So we'll work on that and have it for next meeting, hopefully to approve by that point.
Steve, question, would we need to run our quote finished product past, Leonard first?
It may need to go back before the entire board. So, because they need to approve anything that goes out like that typically. So
Okay.
we'll make sure that the board gets to view it.
Okay, so hopefully you can factor that into your timeline. Great.
Got it.
Well,
And
they would approve it after it comes from you.
Right, we would have to vote on it as a committee first, understood. Great job, Lisa.
Yeah, this looks great.
Super,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you.
super. Any other, I apologize, I skipped new business. Were there any other points that needed to be raised regarding new business? I hear none. Any other points to be raised regarding old business? I hear none. Public comment, there is no public comment in the room. So our meeting is adjourned. It is 8:42. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. Thanks.